if we talk about the university as a whole, NEHU, and your experience here, I mean, what are the major changes that you've seen and witnessed in your lifespan?
Yes, in NEHU itself, lot of changes are there. Well, see, when I was a student, even in one class, we are around 10, 12, like that, those days, in one MA class.
Oh.
But yes, then not more than 20, 30 to very rare in any department.
Okay.
So those days.
I see. And yeah, and you did your masters in Bijni?
Yeah, business.
Okay.
This suddenly come up. I was a member of volunteer when Gyanesh Jal Singh inaugurated this campus. That time I was MA final. I was in MA final. I was a volunteer to distribute cold drink. It was thick jungle those days. Those days, very few students were there. We were there only in business complex.
I see. I see.
So that was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in 1982. Like that. So then you see now number of MA students huge. In philosophy alone, if we are to admit around 60, now our strength is 60. We have around 200 applicants. Very difficult to make selection. And in English, for example, they are to admit around 50 plus, around 60. They are having some 700 students. Very difficult. So a lot of changes have taken place. And of course, the quality of education, to me, as I say, that this all British pattern as of now, that is still better. In a sense, instead of having this kind of education system now we are having, because now education, one chapter you study, then you appear, then after you finish one chapter, you abandon. In our time, the whole book you study, at the end you appear. So you have some knowledge, you are retaining. Now, once you are not going to come back to this, you have the habit of leaving quickly. So memory was short-lived. You get a very good mark. In our time, we get a little mark, but knowledge we retain very long. Okay? So that kind of changes had taken place. So I think this is one of the changes that has taken place in education system from my time to this time. And plus, students are not very serious. Now, teacher, sometimes we have to go and call student, come. In our time, when the teacher is entering, before teacher enter, we run. So differences are there.
So, what were the most memorable days or events that that you can recollect here in the campus?
As a teacher or
as a teacher or as a student?
No, when I joined way back in 2002, so in my lecture, I think till your class, then students, they are come running, not to miss my class.
Yes.
Till your time. But after 2015, things, students are a bit very, very lethargic. So they are just shying away from responsibility. So that is what I observe. So I enjoy when students are listening you very carefully.
Right.
So you could see them, whether they listen, whether they understand what you say. So teacher always read the mind of the student through their look. So if when I deliver a lecture, whether students are with me or not, I know.
Yes.
So those days, when students are completely with me, listening what I say, then you also have the interest to prepare more, read more book, prepare, give more new information, new understanding. When people are not listening you, then you are also ignoring. So I think now students have to revive their position, irrespective of the education system. So they have to give their mind. And therefore, you see, in Meghalaya also, how many years you don't have any IAS officer?
Right, right, right.
So these are the products. Although we might be saying that no, things are still good, but things are not good.
True, true.
Because the end result, your product should be sellable.
True.
They should be employable. That is important. So I think now the employability is becoming lesser and lesser. So this aspect is to be looked seriously. Any people who are engaged in education, they have to look this aspect very seriously. Otherwise, we will have a lot of educated persons who are not employable.
Well, when we talk about employment, and also let's just say the educational system here in Meghalaya, how do you see it, sir, as a professor of the university? You know, we have so many things that is going on in the education system at a state level here in Meghalaya. So how do you see, you are in touch with colleges, different colleges here,
Yes.
and institution, and you must have had all the information regarding the progress of each colleges and all that. How do you see the education system here in Meghalaya, sir?
Meghalaya, to be very frank, it is very good institutions are there right from the beginning. Even when it was under Gauhati University, you have a premier institute like St. Edmund, Anthony, Ledekin, now St. Mary. These are one of the good colleges in Meghalaya. They are still good in a way, but you see, the problem, this thing is with the present kind of situation is that now education will be good only if it is intercultural institution. One cultural institution will not be good because competition between culture, different cultural competition is real competition. For example, if a student is educated in the village, he might be first boy, first girl in the village. When it comes to Shillong, he or she will stand nowhere.
Yeah, right.
Similarly, if you don't have intercultural institution here, when you go to Delhi, you will be like a village boy or girl coming to Shillong, you will be going to Delhi. That is how here also we have to have a mixed cultural education
System.
so we should admit more outsider also. Balance, not outsider necessarily, but then from different communities. Then only it is a real competition.
Because back
That is lacking now.
Yeah, back in the days, we heard that Shillong is the educational hub of
yes.
Northeast.
Even now it is. Even now, because you see, Shillong, there are many good things in Shillong. One is that the weather condition is conducive to reading, education. Because if you go to Gauhati, you don't feel like reading. You're sweating, and so many mosquitoes. But here, you see, now at peak of summer, I am putting coat.
Right.
And whether it's, if you are serious, you can read throughout the day.
True.
And no mosquito. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
Because all those things. So then institutions are good.
Right.
The only thing is that the teacher also should give more. In selection of teacher, we should be very serious. Then we should select the best. Then only. Then in admission also, we should admit the best. Of course, reservations are there because if we just say best, then you may, where will we stand? No.
Sure.
But then apart from our quota, some things are there. But of course, there are many people who are much ahead than the general people, okay, among us also, like that. But then what I want to say is that education will be intercultural hub. That is what I want.